So either way, I'll just change the name of the title and go with it. I'm a professional. Hey guys, what's up? It's Care, also known as pens.inks.icedcoffee across various social media platforms. If you don't follow me there, follow me. That'd be cool. Anyway, what we have here, I think, is a new disc-bound, or rather ring-bound leather journal planner situation. In the days surrounding Black Friday, I think I maybe ordered this a couple days before. I might have ordered it on Black Friday. I don't actually remember. MeePlus had a sale where you got like freebies and stuff, and they released a new leather color that I'd been really eyeing and I really wanted, and I bought it. And I'm at least 85% sure that that's what this is. And if not, it's another stationery goodie. So either way, I'll just change the name of the title and go with it. I'm a professional. I'm really excited. I haven't looked, obviously, or I'd know exactly what it was. I haven't looked. I'm at least 90% sure it's the MeePlus. Let's find out together. It is! She's here! Oh, I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do is take all the goodies out. I'll put them on the desk, and then we'll go through each individual item. We can set it up together. Maybe I can do like a little test, like a fountain pen ink test on the paper, see how it goes. I'll cover all the details. Let's unbox. I've really got to start keeping scissors or something to open this with at my desk. Let's take a look. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Look at it. And it smells so good. I am so excited. Oh my God, it is even prettier in person than it was in the photos. It is a beautiful dark, kind of weathered purple. Oh, stunning. Look at how gorgeous that is. So let's talk through everything I got. So this is the slim pad in the personal size. And I'll put the measurements of it over on the screen somewhere. So the slim pad personal size in the color Pueblo Purple, which is their fall/winter 2025 limited edition. I got the 16 millimeter rings. And then the spine and rings color I got is the stainless steel silver. I think they had it in like a gold, a brass, and then the silver color. And I picked silver just because it matches more stuff. I'm more of a silver, like a white gold silver person, platinum even. So I thought that would be beautiful together. I got pen clips that don't exactly match, but I actually didn't get these are the self-adhesive clips, or not clips, the self-adhesive pen loops. I actually didn't get it to go in here. I got these for my traveler's notebook. So I purchased these, but not to go with this. This is in the brown leather color, which does actually really make me want to get one of these in brown too, because that's beautiful. So I'm going to set these off to the side. I also got the rings protector, which is like another little fabric piece that you put in there so that your rings don't wear on the leather on the inside. I got the elastic band with the pen holder. Now this is probably not going to hold unless I put a ballpoint in there. I don't know that it would hold like a fountain pen. I guess it could. It would just need to be a smaller one. We'll try out what size pen will fit in here easily. But it also has the elastic strap attached to like the top of it. And it'll make more sense once I open it and show you everything. And then I got a couple of different like paper types. This one was included because my shipping was delayed. I think on the website it said 7 to 10 days, and it ended up taking about 2.5 weeks. So like 17-ish days to ship from the time that I ordered it. So they included some additional paper in here for my delay, which is super kind. I appreciate that. I will take a moment to point out, none of this was sent to me. This is not like sponsored. They don't know I exist. I follow them on Instagram. I saw that they released the planner. I thought it was phenomenal. Had to have it. So that's kind of how I ended up with this setup. So we'll open up the shipping delay package last. We'll go ahead and open up take the plastic like off of all of these things, open up the papers and remind me of what I got, and then we'll go from there. Included in the Black Friday purchases were these three. So a personal daily sheet, the personal dot grid, and the personal blank. I purchased the dividers, and they're just like, I don't know, pretty soothing, calming colors. I thought they were pretty, would go well with it. This is the personal 5mm grid, and the brand on all the personal basic or the freebies is Minijoy, Minijoy. And then I bought a bunch of the lightweight refills. So I purchased a blank one, a weekly one. It gives the days of the week. It's undated, so you can assemble it however you want. I purchased the dot grid, and then 2 of the lightweight grids. And then in the shipping delay package, it includes the basic Minijoy branded blank, grid, and lined. So that's nice. Now, the basic ones are cream colored versus the lightweight, which is a bright white. Let's see. You can tell the difference here. So this is the cream colored, the basic, and then this is the lightweight, which is more of a bright white. I'm trying to decide whether I want to do the planner setup now or test the paper out for fountain pen friendliness really quickly. And I think I'm going to test the paper really quickly. I'm just going to use like maybe 2 or 3 pens to see how they hold up, because that's going to determine how I set up the planner. So we'll do that really quickly. And it's not going to be the whole big like ink swab and everything like that. It's just going to be writing. Let's do that really quickly, and then we'll set up the planner. Here are the respective pens we're going to test. We have the Pelikan M205 in a medium nib with Pelikan Moonstone. I have the Lamy 2000 in I think it's a fine, but this is inked with Birmingham Pen Company Saltmarsh. I have the Tom Studio Pocket Pen, the Pocket Fountain Pen, and this one is inked with Dominant Industry Anemoia Borealis. I have a Kaweco Sport in a broad. This one is inked with Waringel's Call of the Cthulhu. And I have a Klena gel pen, in case you're a gel pen user. So we'll give these a go. I'm just going to do a short little swatch test of each, and then we'll flip it over and look. It says on the website that the basics, so this one is 120 GSM, and the Minijoy, and it doesn't say what GSM the lightweight is, and it's Crena paper, Crena, Crena paper. It just says that it's made in the same fashion as Tomoe River. So, and it could be different GSM. I mean, it's very lightweight. I would say it's probably in the 50s. It doesn't feel quite heavy enough to be 68, but you know, either way, it's a much lighter weight. So we'll give them a go and see. Let's see. We'll start with the gel pen. I think it's a 0.4. Kind of do this one off to the side. Both of them are very smooth. And I specifically picked salt marsh because it bleeds through on a lot of stuff. And it's turning like really purple here. For reference, it's usually more of a brown. I love that. I don't see any like feathering or anything like that here on the front. Another thing I want to do is see how hand oils affect it. So I'm going to push down really hard here. I have some lotion on, but it's a couple of hours old. So I wanted just to see whether this absorbs the hand oils and makes it difficult to cover over it or not. And it doesn't look like it. I realize this is not like a great test, but doesn't look like it's skipping over where the hand oils are. Because normally, oh, well, maybe a little bit actually. Now that I'm looking at it, it is. But it still seems to pick up a good bit of color around it. This one is anyway. You can kind of see the outline of my finger right here. All right, so let's take a closer look. This is going to be the lightweight. So if you look right here, you can kind of see where my finger was. Doesn't really look like it wants to pick up the ink there. So it does absorb the hand oils, but there's no real feathering. There's nothing Nothing bad about it. It shows up the sheening really well, especially like in Call of the Cthulhu. And you can see a little bit of shading here at the bottom of Saltmarsh, perhaps. There's a little bit of shading present, so I did a good job there. Let's flip her over. Oh, wow, beautiful. Zero bleed through. There is some ghosting, which you would expect on a lightweight paper, but zero bleed through. That is phenomenal. And let's take a closer look here at our basic paper. So again, I don't see any feathering at all. The sheen shows up really nicely. Now, this did give a little bit of kind of nib spread, I think is what that's called, or ink spread, where it makes your pen write just slightly thicker than it is. I like that feature personally. I know it's not for everyone. But both are very smooth papers. And then this one too, you can see where my fingers were. So it does absorb hand oils. Let's flip it over. Now, there is the tiniest bit of bleed through in some parts of Waringel's Call of the Cthulhu. And maybe just a hair on Saltmarsh. But I do see it a tiny bit in Call of the Cthulhu. Now, in fairness, this is a very wet ink and it's a very dark ink. So I'm not surprised. All of the others did beautifully. And down here where we did our kind of hand oil test, no bleed through there. Which sometimes the hand oil getting into the absorbent layer of the paper can be what causes the bleed through. But I'm not seeing any back here. So a tiny, tiny bit on Saltmarsh and Call of the Cthulhu, but not so much really that you can even notice it's. There we go. Now you can kind of see it. The little dots right here. So I like both of the papers. That's going to make it tough to decide what to put in there. But let's set up our new journal. So we have our binder. I went ahead and took the plastic off of everything else just so you wouldn't have to hear it crinkle. So we can start with putting our rings protector in. Begin with putting that in. Then we'll open up our binder. Got two little tabs here. And this is what I was talking about. So the elastic strap is attached to the top of the plastic card that has the pen loop on it. So we'll put that in. And I like to keep that towards the back just because I feel like it holds everything together. So, you'll close it and then you'll put your little strap around like so. So that everything's kept together. So I think what I want to do is do a couple of the daily planner pages because I like that. It's got a dated timeline from 6 a.m. to midnight. Priorities. You can check off the day of the week. You can write the date, a list or to-do, your hydration, and any notes from the day. I'm only going to put a couple of these because I don't actually know how much I'm going to use these. My ideal self would use them all the time, but actual care, I don't know. I'm going to, of course, put in the little dividers because I think they're super pretty. I will put in some of the lightweight grids and some of the lightweight dotted. I got a blank just for fun. I don't actually use blank paper very much at all. So let's start with putting a couple of these in and see where we get to, see how I feel about it. All right, so we'll put like 3, 4 of these in. Some of these are stuck together. And you'll have to forgive my cuticles. I got ink all over my hands. And it's coming off my fingers, but I need to give myself a little bit of a manicure. It is stuck all over my finger, around my cuticles and under my nail. I think this is one too. There's more than one here on some of these, but maybe not. So we'll start with 3 of these. These are the little dividers that I got on tracing paper. We've got some pretty florals here. So 3 florals, and they're all kind of pinky hued. Accept the overwhelming change you've been waiting to happen. There is no right time, but there is no better time. Within this phase, you will win some, you will lose some, but you can never win if you don't allow yourself to lose. Let yourself lose. I hope you know that you are amazing. You are wonderfully unique. You have come so far. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you will get there. You have to trust. You have what it takes. Everything you need is within you. You are so wildly deserving of your dreams. I love that. And then solitude. A state of seclusion or isolation. I just thought these were really pretty and went with like the purpley theme so well. So I could not help myself. I'm just going to put a little stack of the dot grid. There is a picture, slightly closer image of the dot grid. And I think I'm going to make this the first page. I hope you know you are truly amazing, wonderfully unique, because I could stand to hear those words a time or two. I think we all could. And then I'm going to put in a little stack of the grid paper. There is that for reference. I don't know that I necessarily need to put anything else in here for the moment. I think I'm just going to start with it. Nope, I want to put in a few of the weeklies. So let me actually put those in front of the dailies. Hopefully all those went in. So I'm going to put in a few of the weekly pages kind of just in front here. Yeah, I'll separate them. All right, so we have, it's going to have like Friday and then week summary, but when you flip it open, you know, you have, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of them are the same size, which I like. I don't like when my weekends are split. And then a short little week summary down here, which I think is pretty nice. So we'll see how that goes. We'll put this up here just because it's pretty. And then I'm going to put the little inspirational moment right there because I like that a lot. You know what? I think I am going to add a few more. Let's add a little bit more to it. So I'll add a few more of the dot grid and the graph. And I think in the graph section, I'm actually going to put some of the heavyweight graph too. So this one is the Mind Joy. It's the heavy, like the basic paper. And it's a full edge-to-edge graph, whereas the Krenna one kind of cuts off right around the rings. Just another little difference I'm noticing as we go. So I'm going to put some of the heavy, or the basic paper, the 120 GSM, in the back here as well. There we go. I love how this feels. Feels like a suede. Oh, it's so pretty. So we'll close her up. And I like that it has a little elastic on it. I still have a crap ton of room in here, as you can see. There's so much more room for activities. but I don't want to overfill it and then feel overwhelmed by it and not want to use it, because that's exactly what will happen. So starting there. Now let's look at what I can fit in the pen holder. So this is the Lamy 2000. Oh, that fits in perfect, actually. That might become my journal pen. I'm not going to lie. The only consideration for that would be that it's a friction fit cap. So I could potentially unscrew it or like pop the cap off accidentally. Not a huge deal, but a consideration. So if that one fits, I'm quite sure that the Pelikan M205 will, and of course it does. Let's see. The Klenna, the Pentel Klenna. That one fits perfectly. Let's see, what else? I have a Delta Duna here. Ooh, even that one fits in there nice. So this pen clip is plenty big. Plenty big. Okay. Well, I didn't expect to have so many options, which is not my strong suit. I'm not going to lie to you. Anyway, I am very excited to get some use out of this. Let me know if you have tried a, leather ring bound type journal, what you think of it. It's my first, so we'll see. We'll see kind of how I end up getting on with it. Right now, most of my weekly planning for like work stuff is done in a Hobonichi. I really like the vertical style planning because I like to time block. Now, I might end up time blocking on here, and I could see how that works. The only thing is sometimes I need a full 24-hour format. I can't just do 6 to midnight. I guess theoretically 5 to 1, because even though they're not dated, there is one block above 6 and one block below 24. So theoretically that could be 0500 to 0100, just as a point of consideration. But I do kind of like a daily look. So I'm excited to get some use out of this. Of course, notes pages with the dot grid. I'm a big dot grid or grid fan. I don't really use lined paper much at all. If I am putting together a lecture, sometimes I will take notes on lined paper. But for the most part, I just use grid or dot grid. And I don't really use blank because I cannot write in a straight line. So that's a me thing. I know. We have some grid paper in here. And then I also did put the heavier grid paper as well. The basics, which is 120 GSM. Just to see if I like how that works or not. So I am excited for all the possibilities that this may bring. We'll see how I end up using it. For right now, it's going to go... In my head, it's going to work as kind of like a personal daily planner. So not really work related, but a personal daily planner, kind of common placing with the different papers back here. See how that evolves over time. I thought about using this as a reading journal, as a pen and ink journal. I have so many ideas of what I could do with it because the size is perfect, right? Like for me, in my opinion. So it's, a little larger than my hand. Let's see, what do I have sitting next to me that I could compare it to? Well, this is the pencil board for an A5. So this is the Hobonichi Weeks pencil board. Let me flip it over so maybe you can see a little bit better. That is the size of it compared to an A5. Here we have a B6, which is the Paper Test Designs B6. And it is slightly smaller than the B6. You can see the actual journal ends about right here. Height-wise, it's the same size. So maybe a B6 Slim. It's about a finger width thicker. Or I'm sorry, probably not that finger. It's about a finger width thinner than a B6. And then for reference to a traveler's notebook size, these are the Lockbee. The Lockbee notebooks that I use for my color family ink swatching. But so that we have a point of reference here. it is slightly wider than the Lockbee, as well as shorter. So let's total up the cost of everything that I've shown you. I'm going to leave out the paper in the total cost because that's going to be subjective. The actual binder, let's just call it 140 because it's 139. Let's call it 140. That includes the color, the personal size, and the rings that I chose. So 149 plus $5 for the ring protector. So 145, and then plus $14 for the wide pen holder plus the elastic band. So this piece here, basically, which brings my total before the paper inserts to, what would that be? 159, right? If I did the math right, roughly 159. That's not a bad price. My motivation to try this one definitely came from the plotter, right? The other kind of well-known leather rings bound journal type system or planner type system. But it was a lot of money for those to not know if I was going to like it or not. And I didn't really want to spend that much not knowing if I would like it or not. I had seen a few people on YouTube do like sponsored, I think, or like at least gifted versions of the MeePlus. So that kind of sparked my interest. I followed them on Instagram. I saw that they were releasing the Pueblo Purple around Black Friday, and I had to have it. It is just beautiful. I am so into this like eggplanty red, eggplanty purple right now. I want every leather good in this color right now. So I had to have it. I'm very glad I bought it. The quality seems really great so far. Kind of looking at the edging here, I can't wait to watch how it kind of breaks in and, you know, my hand oils take into it over time. It gets little scratches and a little bit of marring. I just really like how a cover looks once it's well loved. So I will report back to you on how I use it, how I end up using it. But if you have either a MeePlus, a plotter, any other of these ring bound style journals, I'd love to know how you use them. Give me some ideas, if you will, in the comments. I hope you loved this video. If you do, I would love it if you would leave me a thumbs up. If you want to check out a few more first impressions, new pen days, ink swatch parties, just hit the subscribe button. There's tons more where this came from. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, and stay classic. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.